that throughout this class and throughout your time at KW. Kate, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure.
Tell the
Hi, everyone.
contestants all about yourself.
I don't need a minute. I need 15 seconds. My name is Kate Martin. I am the MCA in Andover. I have the pleasure of working with Mark Mulcahy very closely. So when we saw this opportunity to team up, I said, let's do it, Mark. So I'll be monitoring your questions and Mark will be answering. I've been with Keller Williams for 7 years now as an MCA in a couple market centers, and it's the best job ever. So I'm thrilled always to have it and feel blessed. So if I can help anybody in any way, please let me know, not only tonight, but at any time during your real estate career. I'm happy to help.
Great. Thanks, Kate. Kate is the MCA, as she said, but that's really the CFO of the company. And so she handles the finances. And so most of you will want to make sure you're nice to that person because that person will pay you. And very important to you. So that's a little bit about Kate. Myself, I've been in the business for 23 years. I got into real estate back in 2002. I was in the dot-com world when that was declining. I got into the dot-com world as it started to decline, or it was in its decline, and had a bunch of stock options. That was fun, and lost everything, lost my job. The CEO went to prison until 2029. And if you ever want to look up WorldCom, I was one of the people that was involved in WorldCom. And the company filed for bankruptcy. And I was out of work. I called my wife and I said, I want to get into real estate. There's no salary, there's no insurance. You're a teacher making 28 grand. We want to have a bunch of kids. And she said, we'll figure it out. And so we figured it out. And so over the years, people think, did you jump in with both feet? Because a lot of you have other jobs, correct? Many of you are working other jobs. That's the reason that we're doing this from 6 to 8. It's to help people get into the career because you have something else going on during the day. And so I did jump in with both feet. However, I jumped in with both feet because I didn't have another job. So I didn't have another option. It's not like I had the guts to do it on my own. I was without work and I had the courage of a partner that encouraged me. And so that was important too, having a partner that encourages you. I sold real estate for 5 years. I sold real estate for 2 years. My first 2 years was at GMAC. My next 3 years was at Keller Williams. My first year, I sold 29 homes, and I can tell you I was not up for dad or husband of the year. I was not home at all. I focused on my career, and you do things and you do what you have to pay for the things, your commitments. And I did those things. And then when I came to Keller Williams, I was here for a couple of years and the compensation was so much better. But then after being there for a couple of years, I read a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's a book written by a guy named Gary Keller, and you should all read it at some point. I don't know if I would suggest reading it while you're in the middle of taking Ignite, as you don't want to go overload. However, I read the book and I implemented a couple things that the book talked about, and the next year I made $104,000 more than I had made in the previous years, and I had paid a couple people. And so here I was able to help other people grow their lives by paying them. I was able to make another $104,000 after paying them. And the key to all of it was that I was a much better dad and husband. And that kind of hit me in the face. And so when the company the Keller Williams office that I worked at, when they were looking for a team leader, for someone to run the office, I thought, goodness, I wonder if I taught 40 people how to do what I did, then they could do what I did, and I would better a lot more people's lives if I did that. And I'd have a bigger impact on the world or whatever. And so I did that, and I took that role, and I did that role for the better part of 15 years. And now I'm an operating partner. So now I have the ability to help someone do what I did and lead them along and let them know all the the pitfalls and blind spots that I get smacked in the face with. And that's one of the things you're going to have to understand is that in this career, you're an independent contractor. And I think that that has really hurt our industry for forever. And what Keller Williams does that's so different than everybody else, believe it or not, it's some of it is great that that so many other companies don't do. But the one thing that we do is that we encourage people to share and to talk and to help each other. And the amount of success we've seen happen through sharing each other's successes and failures is insurmountable. And the amount we cannot count the amount of times that it's happened or it's bettered someone else's life. And so we take a different approach. Instead of being a competitor, you're not a competitor. We're together and we're all in this together. And listen, I can talk about this forever. We sell the only product in the world that everyone owns or wants to own. Okay? There's no one that wants to be homeless growing up. There's enough houses to go around for all of us. If another 10 people come to the office, it's okay. We can learn from each other. So trust me, there's enough business to go around. Don't worry about that. I've sold copiers, or I tried to sell copiers. I wasn't great at it. I wasn't very successful, and I wasn't successful at selling telecom. Not everybody wants a copier. Not everybody wants, data storage. I promise you, but everybody would love shelter. So let's get started. Okay, Kate, you're going to bring us through the slides. There we go. Okay.
Can everybody see my screen? And perfect. Thank you, Monica.
They're
Casey.
saying yes.
Mark, you want to say anything on TCPA?
Yes.
Can you see my screen, Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I just don't feel like talking about this. All right. You must comply with the TCPA and all other federal, state laws according. Listen, read this stuff. Don't call people you're not supposed to. Download the list, the do not call registry. We're going to talk about this every single time this comes into effect. It's the TCPA. You have to know the guidelines, okay? Fire away, Kate. Yep, same stuff.
Fair housing, cam span. All right.
Read up. Okay, here's your calendar, right? And we might not be going directly by this calendar because of everything that there, or is this the regular calendar? Are we doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? We're not, right?
We are doing it all week long, Mark. Monday
Oh,
through
we are?
Friday. Yep.
Oh, good for you. I love the dedication. Okay. So every night, okay, and there's the 4 things that we're going to bring you through. You're going to be real estate expert, which is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through lead generation. We're going to go through lead follow-up and then how to do the transaction. And remember, every company can have a little difference to some extent. Most part, it's all the same. Okay. Next. Okay, course overview. Spark your career. That's where we are today. By the way, the goals for you in Ignite. By the end of Ignite, we want you to be working with a buyer. We want you to be working with a seller. That's what we need you to do. Okay. And if we're not working with buyers and sellers by that time, we need to figure something out. And it's it's not following through with what we said we're going to do, or we're not following through with the scripts and we're not working on things that we've talked about. But whatever it is, we should be working with someone by the end of this. And if we're not doing those things, it's just that you're not having a lot of conversations. Gary Keller said, anyone can do it, not everyone will. And that's the truth. A lot of us get into real estate and we say, the reason I got into real estate is because I didn't think the realtor that worked with me did a fantastic job. And so people get into this. And what they find out is that everyone has the ability to do this career, but not everyone will. And the biggest thing we're going to focus on here is your mindset. If you're not coming into this with the right mindset, then it's not going to work. I talked about in the very beginning, and when I talked about when I got into the business, and my wife said, we'll figure it out. I needed that support system. That was important. I needed to have the right mindset going in. If I didn't have the right mindset because of my personality type, it wouldn't have worked, because I would have worried the whole time about making sure that she was happy and going against what she said. And so one of the things, we can go to the next slide. One of the things that Gary Keller did was he interviewed many people from many industries. So I don't want you to think a lot of Gary Keller, one of the things that he does a fantastic job of is research, or other people do the research. And so he doesn't just stick with Keller Williams people. He will go outside of Keller Williams, and he will go to other real estate companies. And so when it came to the 6 personal perspectives, it had to do with what successful people are doing in all industries. And so he interviewed those people, and these are the 6 things that he came up with. And ultimately, if you follow these 6 things, you will have success. So let's go through all of them, Kate. We'll go to the next slide. First one is commit to self-mastery. What's important for you to know on commit to self-mastery is that it's not saying commit to mastery. You don't have to master everything, right? In life, we think about that. We're trying to master so many things. No, commit to self-mastery. Commit to mastering yourself, knowing your goals, getting your goals down, knowing what your goals are, and continuing to repeat those things. Know what your strengths are and know what your weaknesses are. And then know how to work through those. We have something called a KPA. It's a Keller Personality Assessment. It's one of the best tools you can have. And it's not a test, it's an assessment. You go through it, and you can have someone validate it. Your team leader can validate it with you, or productivity coach, or a mentor. And it'll talk to you about, it'll bring out some of the strengths and weaknesses. We want you to have knowledge and not necessarily work on our weaknesses, but focus on our strengths. Okay? Commit to self-mastery, becoming better at your strengths. Next slide. 80-20 principle. By the way, Monica, do we want this to be interactive, or is it too interactive if we have with 100 people on?
We can encourage folks to ask questions in the chat, and we can sort of go at our own pace. If we can keep up with those questions, I'm happy to help moderate that.
Yep, that's okay. So I'm just going to some of these things, because some people want to talk about what the 80-20 principle is. And so I don't think we want you to wait for the responses in the chat. So I'm just going to go through and talk about the 80-20. 80-20 principle is a principle that is around and has been forever. It was Pareto principle. And basically the saying is that 80% of our results should come from 20% of our activities. And I think in general, what we do is we spend 80% doing all this, we spend 80% of our time on stuff that will generate 20% of our activities. You'll hear politicians will say, certain politicians will say 20% of the population pays 80% of the taxes. You can look at company reports, and you can see that the top 20% are doing 80% of the business. And so you can find there's an 80-20 principle in most things. Our goal is to get you to recognize the 20%. The 20% that's going to get you the 80%. And what we need you to do is figure out how to work on that 20%. As a realtor, you can answer in the chat, your 20%, one of your 20% has to be lead gen. It has to be. It's not necessarily, your job isn't necessarily to sell houses, it's to generate leads. And so it has to be generating leads. And if you, every single day, if you spent a certain amount of time on generating leads, you would get 80% of your business. And if you increase that 20%, increase the activity in that 20%, you would continue to grow your business. Okay? Everything, what you want to do is your big rocks. And that's it. We can leave it on this slide, Kate. You want to focus on your big rocks. And one of your big rocks is going to be going through and doing your lead gen. Okay? Next one is moving from E to P. Entrepreneurial to purposeful. Okay? When I talked earlier about getting into the business, when I had my first year, and I wasn't up for husband or dad of the year. By the way, I wasn't an abusive husband or an abusive dad. So let me get that clear. I just wasn't home. Okay. But one of the things that I had done was I had hit a ceiling of achievement, right? I had figured out how to do 30 transactions a year. And that was it. And I had found out how to do 30 transactions while not being a present father and a present husband. So when you go from E to P, what it is you're going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. And so everyone's going to hit that ceiling of achievement at some point. Once they hit that ceiling of achievement, they need to break through that ceiling of achievement. So a lot of times agents get into the business, and when they get to a certain amount of transactions, somewhere in the 24 transactions, so you're averaging 2 transactions a month, you get to a point where you need to hire a transaction coordinator. Okay, and the transaction coordinator allows you to break through. And then later on, you might hit another ceiling of achievement, and then you need to hire a full-time assistant, a full-time admin, an executive assistant. So you hire that person, and that breaks you through. And then you hit another ceiling, and then you need to bring on a buyer's agent. And maybe that buyer's agent, someone that you know that you bring into the business. Maybe it's someone that you did a deal with, or maybe it's your assistant who's ready for that next step. And their profile, their personality profile makes sense for that. That's been going from E to P. Everybody in this room is entrepreneurial. You have a job with no salary and no insurance. You're definitely entrepreneurial. You've already done that. Just make sure you're purposeful. Okay? Next slide. By the way, when I was growing up, I was a fantastic athlete until I was 12 or 13, and I never got any better. I wasn't purposeful about getting better. I wasn't purposeful about practicing more than the other boys on the team. But I got to tell you, I was Carl Yastrzemski growing up until I hit 12. I was something else. Okay. Make learning-based your foundation, okay? We have top agents that get into the business and come to Keller Williams and they think, I'm coming here because I'm going to have profit share, or I'm coming here because I'm going to make more money. And what you need to realize is our company is an education company. It's a technology-based company. So you need to be learning-based because that's what you're going to get with this company all the time. People get in and we're just ignorant-based. Be learning-based. Quite honestly, when I go to a class, I struggle to pay attention for the entire time. If I was not talking tonight, this would be difficult for me to get through. And there would be times tonight where I would get sidetracked on something else that doesn't have to do with what we're talking about. However, it has to do with generating business and leads. If you stay learning based, you will inherently think of things that come up that don't have anything to do with what the instructor is talking about. And based on the first 25, 30 minutes of this, you should be able to figure out that you're going to have to come up with some stuff on your own if I'm going to be your instructor. So
Be learning based, okay? And one of the things we talked about too is there's an iceberg, right? There's an iceberg. You just see the tip of the iceberg. What is underneath the ocean? That's what you're doing. That's your knowledge. That's what you're building up to be, okay? This is a quote from Albert Einstein. I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. Super important that we realize that we're in this business and we're in this business to listen more than we are to talk. When people are talking, write it down, review it. If it makes sense, keep it in your till. Be learning based means staying curious to everything that you're doing. Okay? Remove limiting beliefs. This is a big one. This is a big one. By the way, a lot of you said earlier that you raised your hand, you have second jobs. There's a lot of successful people in real estate that started out with a second job. Don't get it in your head that you can't be successful. There are so many jobs that you can do in this business that you can be successful. But do not have a limiting belief, please. I don't have enough time for training. That's not true. There's plenty of time for training. By the way, we have so much that's recorded that you can take, that you can listen to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast. Just play it in the car. You have the MREA book. You can play that in the car. The Shift book, play it in the car. A lot of people say, I can't be successful, the market's changing. That's not true. That's when you gain the most traction. You gain the most traction when the market's changing. When the market's going down, that's when people are getting out of the business. And some people say, I can't devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. We get that. I also know that doing something is better than nothing. And I've often talked about making a commitment, and I realized that I didn't get a referral from a friend of mine that was at my wedding. Yes, that will happen to you. You will have people that you know that you're shocked that they didn't refer you. Do not blame them, blame yourself. Talk to people about what you do. Get rid of those limiting beliefs. People want to talk about real estate. They want to talk to you. It's their biggest asset. Be positive. Get rid of those things that people think on a regular basis. By the way, I grew up with a brother who went to Tulane University. He was a math major and a physics minor. He graduated in 3.5 years while doing ROTC and working full time as a night security guard. And I couldn't get into a 4-year college. So if I had that as my limiting belief, I probably wouldn't have gone on and done some of the things that I've done. It just doesn't make sense to me. We're in a world that we're doing things that we're not doing anything that no one else can do. This is our opportunity to learn from others. Okay? Do not have those. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have them. I promise you, I have them. They come in and they go out. Address them. We have a saying where we say, eat the frog. Get rid of those unlimiting beliefs first thing in the day. Eat the frog. Okay? Number 6. Be accountable. If you're not going to have accountability, it's probably not going to work in the long run. You have to have accountability to some extent. An accountable person seeks reality. They acknowledge it. They own it. Right? I just said earlier, if someone does not use you, you find out that someone did not refer you, own it. Don't blame them. Blame yourself. I know when I was upset that my friend didn't use me and I first found out, I left the restaurant that I was at. And on my drive home, I thought, gosh, I can blame people for the rest of my life, or I can blame myself. And at that point, I made it my own personal mission to let everyone know that I was in real estate. Find an accountability partner. By the way, I've said my wife would be a perfect accountability partner. I'd hate to come home at night and if she said to me, were you accountable today? Did you do the things, the 3 things that you were supposed to do? Did you lead generate? Did you work on your education? And if I said, no, I didn't do the things I was supposed to do to help our family, that would kill me. So whoever you can use as an accountability partner, use it, follow through with it. And know this, who you surround yourself with in this business matters. So use good people, someone that lets you off the hook for not doing what you were supposed to do isn't a great accountability partner. Okay. Okay, next slide. Happiness is not an individual sport. Sean Acor, author, said this. Sean was someone that says, who pioneered the research that reveals happy humans are more productive, creator, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Everyone should know that. A lot of you got into this business because you hate your jobs. You're not happy. Get yourself involved. No one succeeds alone. I want to read that again, okay? Research reveals happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. So happier humans means you'll live longer and you'll be happier at what you do. No one succeeds alone. All right. There's probably a guy and a gal named Procter and Gamble. Bill Gates had Paul Allen. If Steve Wozniak was not helping Steve Jobs, that Apple would not have been successful. Although Williams did not stay around long, Keller Williams, by the way, Joe Williams still works for Keller Williams in North Carolina and is a great human being. But Gary did not do this alone. Use your resources. Okay. Now we have ahas. And so we're going to try to fly through this. If anyone wants to put something in the chat real quick of anything that they just heard in there that you can talk about, that you want to share, that you got from it, an aha. For those that don't know, AHA is agent helping agents. Actually, why don't we do this? Why don't we do 3 AHAs? I want 3 people to say something. So come off mute, raise your hand. 3 things. So I want to hear one thing that you got from the last session, from the last 25 minutes.
I think.
Not
Mark,
all at once.
I added something in there. Oh, somebody else go ahead.
Oh,
Ian.
sorry. I was just going to say, it seems like it's obviously like a group effort. You have to be, as an individual, you have to hold yourself accountable, but, you do it by reaching out to people and helping one another, achieve success. It's not an individual sport.
Ian, amen. Amen. And guys, it's one of the hard parts that we have to realize now, because so much of our industry, because we're self-employed, and because we went through COVID, we're looking for ways to not work in an office and be around people, where if you want to have success, it's imperative. Ian, great share. Thank you.
And Mark, I have in the chat, thank you, Ian. I have in the chat, Emily shared family first. Absolutely
Yes.
one of our founding beliefs. Stacy's ahas, use whoever you have around you to hold you accountable, which was one of my ahas always. Amanda McLaughlin had be purposeful, and Destiny has never giving up when times get tough. So we do have some fantastic ahas, and I appreciate everyone sharing those.
Yeah, you're not alone on so much of this. And thank you. Never give up. It's so true, because what happens is when you're thinking about giving up, so are other people. And so if other people are thinking it, be stronger. And the way to be stronger is to do that through other people. I'm not going to tell you to be stronger on your own.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing. No, let's be stronger together. Pick up the phone, come into the office, talk to someone, talk to your team leader, your MCA, your director of agent services, productivity coach, whoever you have. Okay. Great. Thanks for sharing. Okay, next slide. Happiness, not individual sport. We're all through there. KW culture is next. Next slide. We'll talk about that. Okay, so here we are, KW culture. This is talking about our culture, and you're going to hear about our culture throughout. By the way, I know I have you guys all on this side of the screen, so I keep looking over here, and the slides are here. So sorry about that. I'm looking at you when I'm over here. I'm not diverting from you, even though I know there's a camera here. So KW culture, MVVBP, Red Day you'll hear about, KW Cares, KW Kids Can, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Cultural Ambassadors. Next slide, MVVBP. Mission, vision, values, beliefs, perspectives. So here's what we're doing today. We're going to go through the mission and we're going to go through the beliefs. That's what we will do today. So next slide. Mission. And I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it once. I'm going to read it a second time. And then I'm going to read it a third time. I'm going to, hopefully you read it with me, but you can read it with your mute on. We don't, but here's this, okay? To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. All good. Okay? Now I'm going to bring it through for a second time. To build careers worth having. We want you to have a career that's fantastic. And if you have a career that's fantastic, you're ultimately going to have a business that's worth owning. Because what we do at KW is we teach you how to have a business inside of our business. We teach you how to run a company inside of our company. You're not here just for the split. You're not here just for the cap. You're here for the education, but you're not here just for the education on how to be a realtor. You're here for the education on how to run a business. Okay? It's okay if you don't know that yet, but you're going to have the ability to run your own company, run a business inside of our business. Okay? And if you have a career worth having and you have a business worth owning, you're going to have a life worth living when it comes to this side of your life. Right? I'm not going to talk about your personal life. That's yours to get in order. But if you have those three things, you're going to have life worth living more likely in your personal life. Experiences worth giving. Once you've established those things, once you've established a great career and a great business and a life worth living, you need to share those experiences with other people. You know, if you have the ability to do something, you have an obligation to do something. And that's really how I feel. So you have an experience. You have to, experience is worth giving. You have to share those with others to help grow them, because you're going to be grateful for those that have helped grow you. And legacies worth leaving, right? Legacies worth leaving. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but there's a profit share piece in here. If you can run a business where you have your own business, where you're running a business inside of our business. That's it. When you're running a business inside of our business, then you're going to be able to give a legacy, because your business is then sellable, right? And you'll find out about profit share, how that goes, that's gifted on. And that's a part of your legacy. So now I want you to read it to yourself or out loud with me, but for a third time, and I hope it really hits home and it means something to you. To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Okay?
Next slide. All right, here's our belief system. Okay. Now out of this, it's really called Y4C2Ts. So you're going to break this up. You see Y on the WI, 4C, 4 C's right there, and then 2 T's with TTES. Y4C, 2 T's. If you can say that, you're doing better than most people here, okay? Or most people in the company, because I feel so many people get tongue twisted on that. And it's probably because we don't talk about it enough, okay? So win-win or no deal. We're looking for a win on all occasions, okay? Both parties. I remember having a business owner tell me once, I feel like everybody won when everybody feels like they screwed each other. We don't feel that way. Win-win or no deal. Integrity. Do the right thing. No matter what, always do the right thing. And envision everyone's watching you all the time. Our customers always come first. They do. You know, for someone that's on the leadership team, our agents always come first because we don't get paid if you guys don't sell houses. Well, if we don't have customers, you don't make income. Customers will always come first. Remember that. As hard as it is. Commitment in all things. Commit to your decisions, not right? Commit to your decisions, not your conditions. You're going to have things that come up in your life. If you make a commitment on those big rocks, on the top 20%, you can have a big life. But commitment in all things. Communication. Always seek first to understand. It's one of the big things that we have in our business. A lot of people react. And one of the things we want you to know is never let your reaction be your response. Right? Hold on to that. Seek first to understand.
Creativity, ideas before results. Creativity begins with all of us together. And then that's also our teamwork.
Oh, sorry, Mark.
That's all right. Is that your way of saying the instructor needs to speed up the process?
Oh, and now I don't know how to go back because my thing is too sensitive.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna talk through these. Creativity is where I left off, and creativity and teamwork are almost one and the same, right? Creativity, ideas before results, and those ideas can come from the teamwork that we have, meaning together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Okay? We always want to be honest. Remember, in this job, whenever you say something that isn't honest, people are going to remember that for the rest of their lives. So always be honest. Equity. Now, equity used to be something where we talked about where it was just for equity with profit share. But equity is so much more now today because it deals with inclusion, right? So it's not just profit share, it's so much more. And I do know for more on, inclusion and equity and diversity, go to The Color of Real Estate, Unconscious Bias, and Agent of Distinction. Those are all KW classes that are available for you. And then last is Success Through Others. Okay, results through people. Again, you're going to hear that. No one succeeds alone. So true. Okay. Now, real quick, Red Day. This is one of the slides that just came through real quick. It's something, we have Red Day. And Red Day is one of the best days that we have. It is the second Thursday in May. It is for Mo Anderson, who was the CEO that replaced Gary Keller back in the day. And so it stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. And so every year on the second Thursday in May, the KW office is shut down and we volunteer in our communities. And it's a wonderful day. I know our offices, we volunteer in the morning and early afternoon, and then we come back and we have a barbecue. We go out and volunteer at camps and get the camps ready. It's a great time for spring cleanup and things like that. But Red Day is a big day. It helps our culture. There's also KW Cares. That's a 501c3. That is a nonprofit that was started years ago. That nonprofit is funded by you. It's funded by agents, and it's here to support agents and their families. So if you or a loved one needs assistance from KW Cares, it is legitimate. You have to fill out financial reports and everything like that. However, we have had agents before where they have been a recipient of a grant for KW Cares. And I would tell you that out of all of the grants that I have been a part of in the 20 years that I've been with Keller Williams, they have all gone to agents that have had little or no production. And I tell you that to say that this company is a real company and has your back. And it's important for you to know that. Sometimes that can get lost. And fundraisers, local fundraisers. Every company should do a local fundraiser as well and give to your community and give back to your community. Your community is what funds your agents and funds all of you. So, okay. Ahas from the last section, the last quick section that we had.
My aha is that I'm not as good as running the Zoom as I thought I was because I went 2 slides ahead. So I apologize to everybody. Learned my lesson. I also
Well-
have in the chat, Crystal shared, never let your reaction be your response, which is huge. That's her aha.
Crystal, very important. I
sorry.
see it again
Yep.
from Cindy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super important. You're going to have a lot of things that happen in your real estate career where you can react quickly. Never let your initial reaction be your response. Just hear it out. Live in curiosity. Live in curiosity. Okay. I saw something in there for giving back to the community.
Yep. Amanda's aha.
Great. Amanda, we saw a slide recently by the deputy commissioner of for the National Association of Realtors where she said, and Kate, help me with the percentage. There was a percentage of realtors give back into their community. Do you remember what that number was?
I do not.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm gonna make the number up, but it's north of 75%.
It was high.
So I can promise you that. So get involved in your community. That's one of the ways for you to lead generate. So get involved. There's plenty of ways for you to do it. And that's one of the things you have to do is you have to listen to what other people are doing. Some people knock on doors. Some people do open houses. Some people mail to a certain list. Some people go to certain just neighborhoods. I had a database. I built a database. Help each other. Okay. And the KW culture is always one. Okay. I've said this for years, and I know there's some people that are in the market centers that I'm involved in, but there's 24 hours in a day. You should work for a maximum of 8. You should play for 8 and you should sleep for 8. And if work isn't a good environment and it's not a great culture, it will screw up your personal time and it will screw up your sleep time. It will mess with all of that. You will go home and you will not be the father, the mother, the friend, the sister, the daughter, the husband, whatever it is that you could be because you're not in a good environment. Culture is number 1. Okay, next slide. Unless there was something else, Kate.
No, we're clear on the chat.
Okay. Okay, KW value, market center value. That's where we are. This next section, we're going to talk about Keller Williams as a global company. As you know, the company was started in 1983. 1,100 offices, 200,000 associates now. And there's so many things that are going on. KWX is a holding company. And here's some of the companies: Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Manage, Keller Offers, Keller Home Financial Services, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered. There's insurance in there. There's property management. There's everything. What I want you to know is you need to be familiar with the KW franchise and what it has to offer. Know the awards that it's received. Top franchise for veterans in 2021. Go through these things. Know some of the things so that you can talk about these things on appointments, right? Top franchise for veterans would tell you that if you're talking to someone that's had military service, we want them to know that, right? Those are things we want to share, okay? And know the products that we have because they can save our clients and our customers money. I want you to know the big thing for you to understand about Keller Covered and Keller Mortgage is more the fact that we want you to understand there's options, and we also want you to understand that Gary's motivation is the realtor. Gary Keller is a realtor. That's what he wants to be known as. So everything that he does is to put money in realtors' pockets. There are franchises out there right now that are concentrating on how to eliminate agents from transactions. There are large companies that you know of, and that's what their ultimate goal is. Gary's goal is to keep the agents in the forefront. He wants to protect agents and he wants to protect our pocketbooks. So pay attention to the stuff that they're doing at International. They do believe, and when I started 20 years ago, I believe I said, I can't remember if it was Mark Willis or Mo Anderson. I said, so what's the 6% for? And she said, we take that, or Mark, we take that seriously. The franchise fee, that $3,000 maximum that you can pay in on a royalty, that's not going for the stockholders. That's our money to make sure that we're putting the best product out there that we can for the agents. So know what they're doing for you. Okay, next slide. Training and coaching. Go to Keller Williams University. Go to Connect and Connect Live. There's so many things. You have Mega Camp coming up in a week. Mega Camp every single year. Now that's in Austin. The next 3 years it's in San Antonio because they're redoing the convention center. But go to those things. They are 6 months apart. February will be family reunion. That is in Atlanta. Go to those things. You will get referrals at those things. You're doing Ignite. Congratulations. Do the command training. Go to Bold. Find out about Bold. Most market centers have a reimbursement policy for Bold. Portsmouth, or not Portsmouth, but Keller Williams Coastal Lakes and Mountains is in the process of doing it right now. And Keller Williams Metropolitan in Bedford is doing it starting Wednesday. Or the Coastal Lake Mountain just finished, and then Bedford Metro starts on Wednesday. So if there's something that you can do, it's free. Go to it. Okay. Next slide. This is your CRM. Get to know it. It's something that is going to get smarter. Okay. Use command. It's like a little child. The more you teach it, the smarter it will get. As we move more into artificial intelligence, the smarter this is, the better it's going to be for you, okay? Keep going. The command app. Use it on your phone. You have a client app. You have your own app too. Use your command app. Enter data. The number one thing that you can do is put your data into the system, okay? Data is the key. So the more information you put into the system, the smarter it will become. Birthdays, anniversaries, notes, all of it. Your value app. Listen, we have 200,000 agents. Over 200,000 agents. If you have 200,000 agents and each agent has 250 people in their database. And that's got to be around 5 million clicks. One of our competitors does about 5.4 million clicks. So my point to it is get your clients on the app, get your friends, get your customers on the app, get them using it. Number one thing you can do is control the data. Next slide. Okay, this is called the lore. It's, you'll also hear it language of real estate, LORE. Know your market centers lore. It goes through these 9 categories. I think there's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 9 categories. Know what you're doing. MOM stands for month over month, year to date. Know what your board is doing. Know what, if your company's taken X amount of listings, if you've gone up, what have your competitors done? What has the board done? Know these where you're setting your numbers, right? Get these for your personal. And you can find your personal numbers that will have to do with all of these lores in the multi-year trends that you can access. So everyone, you have your own multi-year trends. And Kate says your MCA can provide this for you. Your MCA can provide the lore for you. So that when you go on appointments, you bring the lore and you say, this is where our company is month over month versus our competitors versus in this marketplace. Okay. Next slide. Next slide, please. Every time, Kate, I say next slide, I say please in my head. I want you to know that. It's important that you know that you're loved here. Okay, market center value. Mission, vision, values, beliefs, perspectives, right? We went through mission and beliefs tonight. KW Cares and Red Day. Know the activities, know when they're be involved. By the way, get clients involved in Red Day. Let them know about your company. Know your leadership team, okay? Know your operating partner. Know your team leader. Know your market center administrator. That's Kate. Remember, they've got one of the hardest jobs. They got to pay you guys, and they want to pay you as soon as possible. Okay? Market center tech trainer. If you have a productivity coach, know who those people are. We also jumped forward real quick, and Kate, I don't need you to go back. She's got an itchy trigger finger. I'm sorry.
You know what?
She's used to
my
being at the
mouse pad is
shooting range.
really sensitive.
She's used to being at the gun range on Monday nights, so she's got an itchy trigger finger. She wants to get out of here. They
I am
close.
so
They
sorry.
close at 9. She's got a half-hour commute, so she's trying to get through this.
No,
Don't worry about it.
I'm so
Take your
sorry.
time. You can stay with me. I'll stay longer if you guys want. The one thing on that last slide that I do want to point out is your ALC. And your ALC is your Associate Leadership Council. And it's important that you know who your ALC are. Your ALC are your representatives. Years ago, when Gary lost a bunch of agents to a brand new company in Austin, Texas, called Remax in 1985-ish. And what he did was he grabbed the top 20% of his agents. He brought them into a room and said, I don't want to lose my top 5 agents in one time ever again. So I want you to form a company that you'd never leave from. And as long as everything you say is a win for me and a win for you, I'll do all of it. So they came back later and said, there's 6 things we want, Gary. We all want to be paid the same. We all want the same commission split. Number 2, we want to have a financial cap. Number 3, we want to help grow. If we're going to continue to help grow the company, we want to share in the profits. If we're going to share in the profits, you're going to have to open up the financials so we can see what you're spending our money on. We want to be an education company that's disguised as a real estate company. And number 6, we want to be your board of directors. That's the ALC, the board of directors. They're the top 20%. They like it to be a maximum of
of 13 people, I believe it is, because you want an odd number in there, but it can be a maximum of 3, it can be a maximum of 5. But those are your leaders in the company. And those agents said that we will help you. We will help you. We will teach classes and we will make decisions for the market center. But when we make decisions for the market center, we're going to make decisions that are in the best interest of everybody. Not just the top 20%, not the top 50%, not the people that started over a year ago or have 2 years experience, everybody. And so they are your representatives. So if you see something, now it's not a coffee pot issue, right? If you don't like that it's Folgers in the coffee room and you want it to be Dunkin' Donuts, then that's probably not something that we want our board of directors to be dealing with. However, they are your ALC and they're your representatives and they sell a lot of real estate and they're good people and they're willing to help. So if you have questions, that's who you can go to as well. Okay. Next slide that you've been staring at
I
is,
was gonna say, I'm not touching it.
is profit share and growth share. In what I just told you, one of the 6 things was if we want to help you build this, if you want us to continue help you building this company, we want to share in the profit. And if we're going to share in the profit, you need to open up your financials. So our company is wide open. Our books are wide open. If you have questions on the financials, heck, we want to show you. And we want it to be an agent-run company. The reason is because we share 42% roughly of all the profits go back to the agents that have helped us grow the company. Okay, profit share is super important to you. It should be super important to you. Okay, once you've been with our company, you're vested for the rest of for 7 years, you're vested for the rest of your estate's life. If you started today, your born on date would be September 1st. And so on September 2nd, 2032, if you leave the company and retire, or if you lose your life, your estate will continue to get your profit share forever. We want you to know that there's no financial risk. So one of the things when we started with the company 20 years ago, not many people had heard about Keller Williams, even though the company had started 40 years ago. I started with the company 20 years ago, and in New Hampshire, where I'm from, we're not well known. And it was just one of those things where people would say, well, it's one of those, help me, Kate, what would they call, like
Pyramid?
pyramid scheme. Yeah, pyramid scheme. You can call it whatever you want. I just know that you don't have to buy $30 worth of hand cream in order to get it. You don't have to buy anything. There's no financial risk. There's no legal risk. There's no down payment. There's no phone calls. This is it. If you know someone that you think would be a great fit with our company, whether they're in real estate or they're going in real estate, let the team leader know about it. If you don't believe in the company, you shouldn't be referring people to it. And if you don't believe in the company, not only should you not be referring people to it, you shouldn't be at it. You should be at one you do believe in, that you do want to refer to. Okay? Profit share. Talk to your MCA about it. It's a wonderful process. One of the market centers I'm in has profit shared over $1 million in 1 year with the agents. There are agents that get profit share checks with commas in it on a regular basis. Promise you, there are agents that make more money in profit share than their cap. Whatever your cap is, 30,000, 27,000, 24,000, 18,000, I have no idea. Whatever your cap is, there's people that make more money in their profit share than their cap. So it's important to me because it's part of your legacy too. And that was one of the pieces in there where we talked about legacies worth leaving. Passive income is a legacy piece, and it's worth leaving to your loved ones. It's distributed on the 21st of every month.
We do have a question from Veronica in the chat about where can we find more info about profit sharing and Command. Mark, do you have any idea of where it might be in Command? But there's certainly plenty of information that can be produced from the Market Center.
Yeah, the Market Center would give you most of, if you're looking for how it works and how the financials work, that would probably be the market center, and whether it's taught in the market center, you could find out when it's being taught next, or you could ask the MCA or the team leader or someone in there. And you can find out about your profit share and how much it is on command and everything like that. But listen, it's important that you're involved in it. There's people that have passed away. There's an agent, John Pepin, one of our agents. John passed away at the age of 40 with 2 young girls. And every month his wife continues to get his profit share. John passed away in January, was 10 years. And she continues to get a profit share. Not only that, but the Market Center does a fundraiser every single year, and they take a portion of that and it goes to his girls for their college funds. So it's a real company that takes care of people. Okay, profit shares, super important. Okay, next slide. Ahas. 3 of them. Let's go. Okay, we got anything?
Not yet.
I gotta hear 3 things.
Yep.
Well, if I'm doing a terrible job, let me know that too.
That was my aha. I'm just kidding.
Know your leadership team. Cynthia, amen. Know who they are, embrace them. By the way, one of the things you'll find out is that people actually want to help you. Ask them.
All right, here we're rolling now. So know your leadership team. I completely agree with that, Cynthia. I'm just going to add in that and top off what Mark said. We work as a leadership team, we work for agents. We are your employees. So make sure you know who we are and how we can help. So, and tap into that as much as you can. And then Destiny put always tap into your resources. Cindy, passive income equals legacy worth leaving. It lives longer than you do, which is such an amazing feeling if you're a parent to know that anything that you've done to help our company grow is going to be coming to your kids for a very long time. Crystal, know your metrics. Me as an MCA, I wholeheartly agree with you. So you're also going to want to know your market center and your personal, and you can find your personal reports in Command at MyKW. And Ian wrote, lean into education.
Yeah. All good shares, and probably the top ahas that we should have gotten out of what we just talked about. So great job, guys. I'm serious. Embrace these things and embrace the people in the company. If you feel alone, you've gotta reach out. There's a whole, I've never been with an organization before where people want to help each other and want to see success and are willing to pay it forward. Embrace it. Okay.
And then we have one last one coming in. KW is built on honesty and transparency. Open book company.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing when it comes to that, the open book, companies have the ability to hide expenses or to, right? I always use the example where if we didn't have people watching our expenses, we could open up an office on the lake or at the ocean and call it, that's our lake office or our ocean office. And it's really my house, but the company pays for it because I want the tax write-off and I want, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that with KW. Your team leader isn't going out to expensive dinners and charging them on the company credit card because you have your eyes on it. That can't happen. That's your profit, right? And our job, we're employees. We work for you. So our job is to protect your money. Okay. Okay, next slide. KW resources. I feel like we just did that. Nope, let's not jump ahead then. How about this? Go to one more slide. Yeah, okay, we did. Maybe, did we miss this stuff?
No, but we did not do communities.
Oh, okay. All right. So communities. these are, by the way, these are all great communities that the company has. And they're communities for you to take part of. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay? If you want to jump in on that community, we want you to. If you want to be a commercial agent, or if you want to explore commercial, land, luxury, military, if you're in the military, or if you have been in the military, we still have people in the military. There's people in the National Guard. There's a community for you. And by the way, these communities have tons of referrals. There's a New Homes community, sports and entertainment. I'm sure that's one that got really popular at one point, right? And KW Young Professionals. There's tons of referrals. Get involved in these communities. How do we
How do
get,
we-
yes,
Go ahead.
No,
Yep, I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say Gina's question, how do we find more about joining these communities?
all you have to do is go online, go on to our homepage, go onto the red page, and we'll talk about the communities. All of them. They're fantastic. I mean, I don't know what young professionals are anymore, if it's under 30 or under 40.
Way younger than you.
All right, I didn't need that. All right.
Just keep
So that would be under
keep it at edgy,
60.
Mark. Just keep it at edgy.
Under 60 would be my category of the young professionals. But join those things. You're only going to learn from them, right? And don't join them all. Right? Don't join them all. It's we want you to focus, okay? We want you to focus. Oh, Diana, yes, we are young. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I am older than Mark, so I I felt safe
By a few
saying
months.
that.
By a few months, right? Okay. Next
But I know
slide.
that your market center leadership can certainly help you with the communities as well. That there'll be a wealth of information and knowledge on that.
Absolutely. Ahas. We're not
Again,
going to do ahas on this one because you just have all these communities. Unless someone has a question in regards to other communities out there. I know that there is one for, when there's one for addiction that used to be out there. And so there's other communities out there. And we just want everyone to be able to join communities and be involved. Okay, next, your career vision. So we've spent time talking about KW. Now we're going to focus a little bit on you, your goals and your dreams, and really what got you into this career. We know what some of those things are, but what we want you to do now is really open up and go into your participant guide, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to read these things, and I want you to envision, we want you to envision what your life looks like. Write the date down. And this is what's happened over the last 12 months. Put down your ideal future, okay? Your business is thriving. And your life is everything you've dreamed of. By the way, write down what you think of in a year from now. I'm going to read these. You can do it after, you can do it during. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You're building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You're the top agent in your market center, a rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% so that you can stay focused on your 20%. You're on the path to, and that's your job to fill in the rest. I want you to take a minute. And write down what it looks like 1 year from now. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. Let's expand our thinking beyond 1 year. Now, what are you doing for the people that you care about? What charities are you supporting? How are you bettering yourself and the lives of others? Complete this chart. Right? You're going to put in there what it is you'd like to make. I see $364,000, and I think that person wants to make $1,000 a day. What do you need to put in those boxes? What do you want to donate? Do you want to pay down an equity line that you have that has gone up in percentage since the interest rates started to rise 3.5 years ago? Right? You want to pay off a college debt for children. You're going to find times in real estate where you struggle to find motivation. Knowing what's important to you is imperative in your success. I remember having a constant reminder of what was imperative to me, because I went home every day for years because we had 4 children in under 4 years. When our 4th child was born, our oldest was still 3. So I had a constant reminder of what I had to do in order to, what I had to support. How much do you want to donate? Live a big life. Who wants to share what they put in there? Or what you've gotten from this exercise? It's really important for you in this business to have a mindset of abundance, caring for others, helping others. Buy another investment property. Great job. By the way, you buy another investment property and do your first flip. That's what we're looking for. It's not just selling houses. Okay. If you can buy that one investment property, by the way, if you can buy that one investment property in a number of years, that one investment property will allow you to buy your second investment property. That's right. Donations to the St. Jude Hospital. Buy an investment property. Helping out nonprofit for at-risk youth. Huge, huge, huge. Write those things down. Please, please, please. I'm encouraging you. Write these things down and keep them in front of you. Remember what your reasons are. Remember what you did. Why you did it. I'd open the animal shelter. Absolutely. That you've been looking to do for years. By the way, there's a fair amount of agents that have had addiction issues or know someone that has addiction issues, and it's hit their families hard. They want to open up sobriety homes. They want to help others. Think big.
This is so touching how generous everyone's being about their thoughts and their dreams and how they look at their career year. It's very touching.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, and Ian, one of the big things that Ian put in there that was hard for me to realize in the beginning was that doing these things allows you to have that time with your family and friends and loved ones, right? Crystal, I saw be a great role model to my daughters. Yes, 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 yes. By the way, one of the most impactful things for me as a team leader it has always been watching agents do things that they never thought that they could. However, I remember one agent came to me and she said, you know, I've never had confidence. I had a mom growing up where she was overly critical of my weight, my grades, my height, everything I ate, you name it. And I've never had confidence. And now here I am, almost 50 years old. And for the first time, not only do I have confidence in my life, but my children have seen the confidence that I now have. And now my children see the confidence in their mom and they have confidence. And so that was a long time ago. That was probably 10 years ago. And it was at that point that I realized, you know, our impact it can be far greater than selling houses and helping others. It's helping our agents and helping them become better people. And that's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to better your life. You're trying to better your family's life and those around you, and then your clients. Okay. Next slide, please. Gary Keller says to achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. You need your big why. Anyone can achieve the goals set in this course, and not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and a commitment to follow models, systems, and a schedule every single day. It requires passion towards something bigger than task at hand, your big why. First, have big why built around your passion, then follow the models you'll learn in this course. Keep doing it and you'll achieve major success. Once you have a strong enough big why, it doesn't matter. You know, over the years, I've seen agents come into the business and they have all of a sudden they start making an additional, after being in the business for 5 years, they start making an additional $50,000. And I've said to them, what's the reason for the increase in the business? And usually they say, oh, I'm not really sure. Some things are paying off. But ultimately, if you keep asking the right questions, it'll come down to something like, we want to move. We want a second house. We want an investment property. I've seen people's production go up where they make another $50,000 a year for 4 years in a row. Do you know why? Their kids are in college. And do you know why they do that 4 years in a row? Because they have to. That's their big why. That's why they get up in the morning and why they put their pants on. Before they were selling real estate. But when they realized that they had to pay $50,000 for their child to go to college, they were putting their pants on for a reason. Know your big why. What are you passionate about, right? That's what we're trying to get before in the last exercise, finding what you're looking for. Eliminate credit card debt. Could be go on vacations. Some of you could be, it just could be to pay your bills. It's okay. Whatever your big why is, put it in the front of your head, put it in paper, look at it every single day and drive towards that. And if you have that in your mind, or you have that in your head, and you have that in front of you every single day, you will ultimately have success. Okay? Next slide. Where do your commission dollars go? It's not all as pretty as it looks. So one of the hard parts for Kate is you can hand her a check for $10,000 and she gives you one back for $10,000 and she knows deep down inside that you're going to go spend the $10,000. So please don't do that before the closing happens, because we want you to know there's some things that are going to take place. Number one, and I think you got to click the space bar just to show how it goes away, Kate. But first, the market center is going to get some money from you, right? And then you're going to need money for your business expenses. You're going to need taxes. And then once you pay the market center and once you pay your business, because you're going to run your business because you're self-employed, and once you pay your taxes, then the money is left for you. So we just want you to know that don't take it all and spend it all before it happens, okay? So here we want to go through an exercise. So break out your or keep your journal opened or whatever we were on before. And here's an example of an income goal, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they get into real estate, they say, what do you want to do when you get into real estate? How much money do you want to make? And ultimately, they say that their net income goal is $100,000. They want to make $100,000, right? So here's what we want to do. We want to break down and figure out what it is you need to do based on our expenses, okay? And this is going to vary, and I'm going to bring you through a little bit on how it varies. But here's what I want you to do. If you read the MREA book and you followed this like it was your Bible, okay, then you would look something like this. And I'll talk a little bit about variances, but here, a net income goal is 100,000. And by the way, this just gives some variables of what we can assume for the most part. Company dollar and royalty. Royalty is always 6% at $3,000. And then a cap of whatever it is, but total of $30,000. We'll just put that for the New England region. $50,000 in business expenses means that you will have to have a gross commission income, GCI, gross commission of 180,000. Now, that also doesn't include your taxes. But here's what I want you to know. Even though this is a model for you to look at, 90% of you, 95% of you will not follow the rule of C. Would you agree, Kate? Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. So most of you are not putting that percentage back into your business, back into your business, which is 30% of your gross or 50% of your net in regards to business expenses. Okay. But if your typical commission and your team leader or your MCA can help you out with that, or your productivity coach is $9,000, then we know that 9,000 times 20 or 180 divided by 9 is 20. You have to do 20 transactions. So you have to do a little bit more than 1.5 per month. Okay. Let's go to the next slide and do your own. Okay. So let's do a net income goal. What would you like to walk after you pay Keller Williams and you pay your expenses and figure those things out? If you want it to be 200,000 or 150, it's okay. Put that number in. Know what and Kate, thank you. Think big here, please. Your company dollar, you know what your company dollar is. The cap's where I am, it's $24,000. So I know that my cap dollar and royalty is 27,000. Then what are my business expenses? When I was a realtor, I stopped being a realtor back in 2007-ish. My business expenses were probably around $15,000 a year, and most of those were because they were sports tickets. I sent out, my magnets for the Red Sox, my magnets for the Patriots. I sent out a Christmas letter, a holiday letter. I did a few other things, and other than that, I wanted to bring people to sporting events, whether it was a minor league baseball, hockey game, or a Red Sox game. I was happy to do those things. So, anyone want to share in there? What's their by the way, typical transaction fee? I'm going to tell you, just use 10,000. It's probably more than that, but use 10,000 because it's an easy number. Anybody want to share how many transactions they have to do? Let's see some numbers. Net income minus company dollar and royalty minus expenses will give you or add those in, I'm sorry, plus company dollar and royalty, plus business expenses will give you your total GCI needed. You'll get your total GCI in line D. Then you'll divide it by a commission. If you know what it is, put that in there. If you don't know what it is, put $10,000. What are your annual transaction goals? Some of you will do business expenses of 3,000. Some of you will do 5,000. Some of you aren't willing to put a number in there until you see a number in A and a number in D, right? You're too afraid to. How many transactions? Put something in. Just tells us you're awake or alive.
All right, we got 150K net, 20 and 18 for transaction goals, 13,
13.
16. Yeah, we're anywhere between 1 and 2 a month.
Yeah, love it. Hey, guys, here's the other thing too that we want to talk about. And when I say guys, I mean gang or everybody. Here's what I
Okay.
want you to know. Everyone is different. Everyone is different, right? There could be people on here that want to make $50,000 because they're starting their life and they're with children, or they're in the second half of their life and they want to travel and they want to make $50,000 because they want to travel, and that's what their expenses are. Everyone's different. You know, our job here is to help you hit your goals. With Keller Williams, they're not our goals, they're your goals. What are your goals? Right? So someone might be 3 transactions, someone might be 300. It's okay. There's actually no judgment. And by the way, I would like to point out that I would probably admire whoever can live a life where they're at the point where they can do 5 transactions. That's wonderful. It means you have better priorities. It's a good thing. Okay. Next slide. By the way, any questions on anything? Shout it out. Don't forget your taxes, by the way. Don't forget your taxes. Kate, you are a bookkeeper. Can you tell us, what do you recommend people do when it comes to taxes? Can you give me a percentage?
I mean, the good rule of thumb is 30%. But as a bookkeeper and as a person who has multiple streams of income, I kind of leave, I go like 35, 40%. And if there's some left over after taxes, I go, yay. I'd rather keep some than owe some. But I put in the chat earlier that it's highly recommended to keep for those of you who are duly careered, is to have a separate account for your commissions, and then take 30% of your commission and kind of put it off in another account that's, quote unquote untouchable. Do your taxes quarterly. There's a lot to say. I see Diana wrote write everything off. Certainly get together with tax experts on what you can write off, because it goes beyond a regular person's thinking if you come from a W-2 background of what you can write off. So make sure that you get schooled on that, and just just prepare for tax time. That's the best thing. You don't want to be caught off guard at tax time, especially if you're brand new.
And I'm someone that loves being self-employed. So Kate's less risk. I wouldn't give 30%. But she's right, by the way. Hey, listen, the more you can, the better. It's just a saving system. Okay. Keep all your receipts, everything. I also saw people are still putting numbers in. I love that. Keep putting those numbers in, whatever that number is that you come up with. The last number I saw in there, 16 transactions. I'd have that 16 in front of my computer every single morning. I'd want to have 16 names written down as soon as possible, because that's 16 people that have talked to me about potentially doing real estate. And then I'd want to get it to 32 names, because not all are going to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, get these numbers in front of you that you're writing down. Super important. Training gets better with feedback. They want you to give us is this for right now? For this
Yes,
class,
this is
Kate?
where we're at. Yep, this is us.
Oh, okay. So they want you to give us an eval. I'm going to tell you, most people are going to say, put down good things. I want you, if this stunk, if this wasn't helpful for you, we still have a little bit more to go. But if this wasn't helpful for you, let us know. Holy cow. We want to bring you value. I want to bring you value. Last thing I want to do is find out, last thing I want to do is find out a year from now that we could have done a better job. So let us know. Okay, next slide. KW Cares, get involved. So here's some of the things we were talking about earlier, how to, certain things. Here's KW Cares, get involved. There's so many things for you to get involved with us, all right? It's agents helping agents. I can tell you, when Katrina happened in New Orleans, was Katrina in 2005?
I believe
Yes.
so.
Katrina happened. There was 1 million realtors in the National Association of Realtors at the time. And at one point they had given $5.4 million, the National Association of Realtors. And we had under 100,000 agents and we had given 4.5 to help our agents out. I remember Mega Camp was canceled a few years ago for Mega Relief when we went out there and helped with hurricanes in Texas and Houston when Harvey hit. So please, KW Cares, get involved. Next slide. Next Gen. Listen, one of the things you'll see is KW Kids Can. This is one of Gary's missions, and KW Next Gen is part of it. It is what it is now. And one of the things I remember the goal years and years ago when Gary started this was, hey, this would be ways for us to provide scholarships to our agents' kids. And so that kind of set home to think, hey, we can really change a lot of our agents' futures. If they can think about this, if we can build up our KW Next Gen reserves to where your children can get a loan for 3% instead of 10% when it comes to college. We want it. And Quantum Leap is one of the things that we would suggest you take as a class. Quantum Leap isn't about selling real estate. It's about bettering you. And a lot of our classes, that's what you're paying attention, or you need to be paying attention to, is that a lot of it is how to better you. But plenty of ways to donate and attend and go to things. Next slide, please. Ahas from the numbers that you wrote and what we just said. 3 ahas. You're doing well on your ahas, so make sure you get through them. What do we got? Think big, Alan. I agree. Guys, I remember Gary saying, put in your brain how much money you want to make. And then he said, double it. And I thought, you're kidding. It's been achieved. Think big. People have walked in these shoes before you. Jump in, think big, think about who you can help. Write out our goals, put them in front of you every single day. I carried a leaflet every single day of my prospect list. I knew what my goals were. Great job on the ahas. Okay.
What's a leaflet, Mark?
What's that? Oh,
What's a leaflet?
Oh, shoot. What you would put in your binder, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like a notebook?
Like a page protector.
Okay.
I would carry around the page protector with my goals in it and my prospect list. And I would change it a cover sheet. Thank you, Diana.
Oh, Diana is really defending you today.
Cover sheet. Oh, sorry. Whatever.
Thank you, Diana.
All right.
I really didn't know what it was. I thought it was
Ian,
like
thank you. But clearly, thank you, Ian. But if other people are thinking it, if Kate's thinking it, others are too.
We clearly have a very smart crowd here.
Yeah, I guess you turn on your computer now, and now your goals are in front of you.
Yeah, Command does that for you now.
All right, which I'm supposed to be pushing.
Yeah.
So, nonetheless, okay. Next. And I think we're wrapping up here in 20 minutes. Daily success system. This is what you're going to want to do every single day, and you're going to want to track this every single day, okay? I'm going to read this. The first job of a real estate agent is lead generation. For those of you that led you to believe it was selling houses, you owe them a call. It's not, it's lead generation. The activity of generating leads is the foundation of your business. It's your 20%. In addition, practicing conversations and dialogues will prepare you for confidence and success. Success is measured in appointments, signed agreements, signed contracts, and then closed contracts. Before we get involved in conversations with contacts and lead generating, we must remember to comply with the TCPA. Okay? So follow that TCPA, TCPA, TCPA. Next list, or next slide, which is talking about the list. Legal notices. Every day in class, we'll make calls to people we need to. Make sure you subscribe to the registry. Okay? Check before you call. So all the things you have to do for the registry. Okay? Okay. Powerful conversations get results. Here's what I really want you to understand. When we say lead generation, it's conversations. Powerful conversations get results. I think I said conversations this morning on a call at 9 o'clock. It's about conversations. Now, if you're not having conversations with people, then you're not going to be doing your job. So know that if you had a day where you didn't talk to anybody, whether it be electronically or face-to-face, you didn't follow through. You're not going to want to talk to your accountability coach that night. You're going to want to stay in a motel if your accountability coach is your partner because you didn't follow through. Lead generate, uncover motivations, right? Ask great questions. Why are you thinking about that? Find out. Is it because they're downsizing because the children are out of the house, or they're downsizing because they could use the money for college and the kids are moving out? Identify objectives, close deals, speak in terms the customer understands. Don't try to talk over them. It's real estate. The toilet's porcelain. You're not trying to teach them too much. Speak in terms a customer understands. And build confidence. Build your confidence. That's what you're looking to do. The more conversations you have, the more confidence you will have. And it's the one thing that we shy away from. We want to get ready, and we're ready. Instead of we're doing aim, ready, aim, ready. You have to fire. And the way you fire is by having conversations with people. People will know you're in real estate over time, and they'll talk to you. That's why you just read about real estate. Every single day, I try to read something about real estate. I try to read what the market's doing. You might find that through some websites. You might find that on a KW website. You might sign up for something that gives you the information. I just want to become smarter every single day. And that's just being learning based that we talked about in the beginning when it comes to the 6 personal perspectives. Next slide, please.
Mark, if I may share real
Yes.
quick before we go on, I think one of the most important things that I've learned as of late, so 8 years into my real estate career, is that lead generation isn't sitting at a desk and cold calling per se. It can be that if that's what you choose, but I learn every day how our agents are making differences in people's lives by making connections. They're not walking up to rando strangers and saying, "Hi, are you looking to buy, sell, and invest? I'm a real estate agent." They're having play dates that their kids get together on. They're going to social events in their neighborhood. They're volunteering at places that they've never volunteered before and meeting incredible people. So I just wanted to share that I've learned that recently because lead generation in my mind was always picking up the phone and making calls to people. And it's not, it's about making connections with people and following through. So I just wanted to share my recent aha. So I am done and I will move on to the next slide.
I'm glad you brought that up, Kate, because it's really what's important. And when we talk about finding what you like, find out what you do enjoy doing for lead generation. I'm a people person. I'm a sensitive person. I'm an emotional person. By the way, if I found out after this that you didn't like me, it would hurt my feelings. I would, where some people, they would say, well, what do they know? I've been doing this for 23. That's not who I am. I'm a sensitive and emotional person. So I want to have conversations with people, and I want to find out about people. And the best way, people think when we get into a conversation, we have to talk so much. The best thing that we can do is just ask questions. And I'm giving you some questions here. Did you find everything you're looking for? This is perfect on an open house. Go ahead and look around. I see you looking at the TV. Are you looking for big games this weekend? They're just conversations. When you go somewhere on the weekend or in the night, on the weekday, and you run into people, it's just conversations. By the way, the best way to get someone to ask you about what you do for a living, ask them how they're doing with their job. Right out of the gate. Bruce Carey, you're on my screen right now. So I would just walk up to Bruce Carey and I would say, Bruce, how's real estate going? Or how's work going? Bruce in turn is going to tell me about work. And then Bruce is going to say back to me, how's real estate going for you? If Bruce doesn't know I'm in real estate, Bruce is going to say, what are you doing nowadays? Or are you still selling copiers? Then I'm going to say, no, I got fired from that, Bruce, because I was terrible at that. Now I'm selling real estate. And my script that I had when someone would say to me, how's it going? And I was newer, I would say this, it's going well. People are now starting to give me referrals because they realize I'm good at this and I'm in it for the long run. And they would say, oh, well, I haven't given you a referral yet. And I would say, no. However, you would if you ever ran into someone that was looking to buy or sell real estate. And they would say, of course I would. And then I'd get a referral after that because that would be in their mind, right? So we talk about asking questions and you'll hear, know your scripts. I understand, know your scripts. Know how to have conversations with people is the real key that you need to hear in that. Know how to talk to people. Know how to be curious. One of the big things that we say is everyone gets into these conversations as a person in business and in sales, and they think that they need to be interesting. That's not the truth. What we really need agents to do is be interested instead of being interesting. And if you're interested, people will talk. Okay? The person that asks the most questions always wins. And the person that talks the most always thinks the conversation went great. So be the person asking the questions. Next slide. Kate, I saw something in the remarks. Anything to say in the last remarks? Yes or no? Okay, good. I shouldn't say good. Like, I'm glad you didn't have something to say. I'm just glad I didn't miss anything. Sphere definition. People have you met in one way, shape, or form. Okay, you're going to hear a lot in this business. Contact your sphere of influence. Contact your database. You'll see something at some point where it'll say contact the letters in your database. Today is A and W Root Beer Day. So you contact anyone with an A and a W, where their name starts with an A or a W. Your sphere. Here's what someone in your sphere of influence is. It's someone you know. It's that easy. It's someone that you know. When I got into the business, my goal was to write 250 names down, get a database of 250 addresses. Okay. And those were people that I knew. Those are people that I went to high school with. I know you think I haven't talked to someone since high school and you don't want to seem like that person. Get over it. They will get over it. They'll be happy when you reach out to them and you ask them about their life. Okay. People that you put in your database, people that you put in command, they're people that you know. Okay. They're people in your sphere. Will you bring your sphere, right? You have a sphere out there And then what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring your sphere into a core. You're trying to get your core into a sphere into a smaller core and build your core. But you bring your haven't mets into being your mets. Anyone that you met is in your sphere. Next slide. Kate, are you frozen? She is frozen. So,
No,
no, you're not? Well, you were just a second ago. Can you go to the next slide?
I know. I don't know why it's not reacting to me. Like I'm the worst mediator ever. Okay, hold on.
I
let me
just
go
want
back
you, I
here.
just want you to know that
Go here.
your face is pausing a little bit in this. So there is maybe some network. It's okay. I'm going to keep talking and just try to get to that next slide when you can. The next graph is going to show you some peaks and valleys. All it does is it just shows peaks and valleys, or maybe there's is there a participation guide that everybody has? And are these slides in the participation guide? Yeah. Okay. We'll get to it. Here's what the slide says. Your sphere of influence moves every 7 to 10 years. And the last thing your sphere wants to do is hear from you right when they're moving, right? When you have someone that sells something and they only call you when they need something, do you like that? The answer is no or no. There we go. So when someone calls you just when they need something, you don't like it. For those of you that are children, raise your hand if you have, or those of you that have children, raise your hand, right? Do you have teenage children where they call you when they need something and that's it? I have two children that when they call me, I want to know what it is before, because they don't even need to cut to the subtleties of everything, of what they don't have to say, hey dad, how are you? Because I know they're really looking for something. They're at that age. Every 7 to 10 years, your people are going to be doing something, which if you have 100 people in your database, then we know that 7 to 10 people are going to be moving every single year. If you have 300 people in your database, then you know 21 to 30 of them are going to be moving every single year. That's how I want you to figure out your math. So if you wrote something down where you want to do 14 transactions and you have 100 people in your database, you want to get up to 200 people in your database. And your goal is to capture as many of those 14 as you can. I'm just giving you some math. Don't worry about it. Short of it is, stay in touch with your database. That's what we want you to do. That's what Command is for. That's why we have smart plans. And you'll go through these things later on. But your database is where your income is going to be coming from, unless you're a professional cold caller. But you're still going to have to follow up. Build a database and know that everybody and contact it. Remember when my friends, when they didn't refer me and I was annoyed, that's when I made the commitment. I'm going to reach out to I'm going to let every person know that I'm in real estate. Okay. Next slide, please, if it can go to it. And this is the Ford theory. Okay. When you reach out to people, this is what you're going to talk about. If you want to know how to talk to people, this is how we do it. Kate, tell me about your family. How's your family doing? When I call someone, that might be, hey, I saw on Facebook that you had a baby. I saw on Facebook that you had a grandchild. How's it going? I can't believe you're a grandparent. Wouldn't that be cool if someone reached out to you and said that to you? You're going to find out about their occupation. How's work going? Hey, I know you're at, let me just make up a company, okay? Or I'm not going to make up a company name because I'll say a company that most people know about, Comcast, right? Hey, I saw that there were some layoffs at Comcast. I know you work there. Is everything okay? I've got a bunch of contacts in my database. What are you looking for? No, I'm okay. I'm keeping my job. Fantastic. Hey, tell me about your family. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. I noticed you went to, I used to bring my sons and my father-in-law before COVID to a new ballpark every year. You could call me up and say, hey, I saw that you went to Pittsburgh and saw the Pirates. How was that? Tell me about that. That's a park I want to go to. And you can talk about their dreams. Sometimes people feel that's a little too much on call one if you haven't seen them if you graduated high school in 1979 and your first call is in 2025 and you open up with tell me about your dreams. I want to talk about desires. Hey, what do you desire? And when you hang up, hey, is there anything that I can do for you? I have a big network. Anything you need? Anything around your house? If there's something that you need, will you reach out to call me? Will you promise to call me? I want to help these are great people and I want to give them more business so that they keep doing a great job for my clients. That's the Ford theory. And I want you to practice that. Practice talking to people with that. Practice talking to your friends about that. And just practice having conversations. If you read something about real estate, add that into the conversation. How's real estate going? Great. We're starting to see a little bit an uptick of more listings on the market now, which is what we need. You could say that right now. Just know little things, okay? Okay, ahas from our Ford theory, ahas from every 7 to 10 years, aha from your sphere of influence, aha from having conversations with people. Lead generate, build confidence, close deals. Alan, amen. The big thing I want you guys to hear in that is confidence. It's confidence. I'm telling you, the more conversations you have with people, it's the confidence you will get. You will not realize it. It's almost like as if you have surgery, and after surgery, you're in pain and discomfort. As you're in pain and discomfort, at one point later on, you go, oh, I'm not in pain anymore. It's the same thing. If you have conversations, it's just going to become natural for you. Amen. Different ways to lead generate. Guys, some people want to knock on doors. I would do that today. I wouldn't cold call today because I'm too sensitive. I've been hung up on so many times selling copiers. I was terrible at it. I'm sure I projected that I was terrible at it in my voice because I had no confidence. Do things that you're confident in. Invest in caring about people. Amen. Whoever said that, care about people. It's about other people. If you make your life about other people, your life will be better off. Zig Ziglar said that. If you help everybody get what they want, you will inherently get what you want. Well, I feel like we had more than 3. And I feel like we finished on time. 7:59.
Yeah, we are right at 8 o'clock.
As we wrap up today's lessons, this is what I'm supposed to be saying. A new way of thinking, the value of mindset and the 6 personal perspectives. KW culture, the mission, Y4C2Ts. Figure out how to say that, Y4C2Ts. You'll outwit everybody in the market center. KW value, know the value that KW gives you, the global search. If you have someone in another country, there's revenue share. It's the same as profit share. It just needs to be called something different because it's a different country. However, because of the accounting systems, reach out. We want to help you. Know about the resources in the communities and work on your career visioning. Write down your goals. Write down what's important to you. Write down what's important to your family. Write down your big rocks, right? There's a demonstration. I'll close with this. There's a demonstration that we do, or we used to do, and you have a big vase, and you have a bunch of sand, which is a culmination of millions and millions of little rocks. And then you have three big rocks. And if you put the sand in the vase first, the three rocks won't fit in. And if you put the three rocks in and you pour the sand in, it all fits. And the point to it is when you wake up in the morning, you should eat the frog. And that means if you have something to do that's uncomfortable, if you have to eat a frog at some point in the day, you should really eat it at 9 a.m. because it's going to taste the same at 9 a.m. than it does at 5 p.m., but you're going to spend the whole day worrying about it. Get up and eat the frog. Get up and do your big rocks. Get up and do the things that are important that will make your career go through the roof. And let all the other fun things come into play in your life. Okay. I have time to hang out with you guys and listen to you if you have questions. If you want to hit and leave, you can do that. I appreciate all of you being here, but I'm going to open it up if anybody wants to comment live. And other than that, I appreciate all of you. If I see you at an event, I would expect you to walk up to me and introduce yourself and know that I could have a referral for you at some point. Okay. You're welcome. To those
Hello.
thank you, people. You're welcome. All
Hi.
right.
Hello.
Yolanda,
Mark, can
yes,
Yes.
fire away if you have a question for me.
I have a question for you. Can you please remind me about the bowl, because you said that the Bedford office, you mentioned two things. First one was that some of the offices were reimbursing the bold fee, and there were also some some events like bold that were hosted by certain offices for free. I was just trying to get more information on those.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
there's a class bold and you want to talk to your team leader, find out when it's going to be in your region. I mean, we are all in the New England region. So this is going to be in Manchester, New Hampshire. It's actually Wednesday. And you can email me if you would like any information on a bold at MMUL
MMUL,
CA. Oh, there it goes. Kate just put it in the.
Oh, I just spelled it wrong.
Oh, okay. It's MMULCAHY at KW.com. So
Okay, MMULCA.
CAHY.
HY.
Yep,
Okay,
at KW.com. First
okay,
initial and the first name and then the last name. Okay.
okay. I found it.
And we'll
Okay.
send you, yeah, and we'll let you know when bold is. I'll forward it to Kate.
Okay. no
And it's
problem.
Wednesday, but I'll tell you what it is. It's $800, and I think the average person gets over 8 transactions under agreement in the time that bold is being offered. And like our market center reimburses $100 per transaction, so most people get their $800 back.
Oh,
And
really?
and it's super important to front the money because the attendance is not great when we front it. So if we front it, that's where we went wrong and why we've learned over the years. So agent fronts the money. There's some scholarships that are available that we can talk about or that the coach talks about, but bold is, we want you to take classes and we want to find ways for you to be involved in all the classes. We don't want
Okay.
money to be a barrier.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Donna, Cheryl, Vanessa, Emily, Connor, how are you? Nice to see you. Jen, Leo, Crystal, you're all good? Diana, I'm not forgetting about you. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Best of luck. Appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Bye,
your time,
everyone.
Mark.
Thank you.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Thank you, guys.